Hello and welcome to World of Tanks with Trapsikis. We're looking at SenpaiErick from the Nerva clan. For brevity's sake, I'm just going to be calling him Eric, playing in the AMX 1390, which is the French tier 9 light tank. So what makes this tank good? Well, it has the lowest DPM of all the tier 9 light tanks, but it does have an autoloader. It also has the lowest view range, but it does have the best accuracy and the joint worst gun handling. It's got the lowest power to weight ratio, some of the worst terrain resistances, and the lowest speed forward and back, joint with the T54 lightweight and the WZ132A. So you'll notice that the ammo capacity of 40 is quite adequate, but Eric has chosen to use 16 premium rounds, which in a matchup like this is not necessary, but obviously if you get full tier 9 or tier 10, a tier 10 matchup, then you may need some more 248mm of penetration rounds. The shell velocity, you'll notice, is also very nice. It's 1100 and something, which means that the moment you pull the trigger, the enemy takes damage. But you'll also notice that Eric does applies some very good trigger discipline. A lot of times he does have a shot, but he decides not to take the shot, whether it be because it's not fully aimed in or because he would give away his position. That's up to him to decide, but the point is that a lot of times shots are available and he doesn't take them. And he's also quite clever with his reloads. When you are reloading, you need to use that time to relocate or make sure that you can't be shot. Otherwise, you will lose hit points without being able to retaliate. Right, so you may have noticed that Eric was pinging the east side of the map quite ferociously. With good reason. The enemy team is pushing that side and the friendlies aren't really responding. So now instead of staying in a spotting position, he moves back and joins the S-tank or the UDES to perform more of a tank destroyer role, which at this stage is necessary because the team is experiencing quite a heavy push from the enemies on the east side. Unfortunately, the second shot into the WZ goes into the dirt there. And here, instead of fighting it out on the same position, he decides, once again, he decides not to take that shot. That the turret on the D54 Mod 1 is quite strong, and he would have given away his position without necessarily doing any damage. So he relocates and uses that time to reload. Unfortunately, the friendly's down 5 tanks. Enemies have only lost 1, but several of the enemies have lost significant amounts of hit points. Right, fortunately the other top tier light tank is able to take out a lower tier German medium, and another medium takes out an enemy heavy, which lets the scores look a little bit better. Now double bushing there against the WZ. He manages to land a couple of shells, but unfortunately doesn't take him out entirely. The UDES being understandably unhappy. However, the UDES is a very fast tank, and when Eric left the little camping spot up there, he had a very good opportunity to actually leave as well, which would have meant that he could survive and help his team. However, he decided to stay there and pay the price for that decision. Interestingly, the friendly RE251 believes this will be a loss and blames the top tier light tanks. I don't quite agree. The top tier light tanks are both working hard at saving the game for the team here, and they both did spotting, quite good spotting, and provided vision to the team, but decided to fall back when they were overrun. As a light tank, your role is not to provide first line defense. You can argue about the T-54 lightweight being able to do so, but that's not your function. Because you've got the speed and the view range, you have to relocate and keep helping your team. You can't become the first line and hope to take out the entire enemy team. Right, Eric lucky to bounce a shot from the IKV there. The armor, another attribute of this tank that is really not good. The frontal armor at its best is about 50 millimeters, which means it can be overmatched by a lot of Tier 9 and 10 tanks. But as I said, he was lucky to bounce a shot from the IKV there. And then he does a lot of damage to the Chiri, but not quite enough to take him out, and unfortunately has to reload now. Wisely getting below the gun line of the enemies while reloading so that they don't have a shot at him. Score's looking a lot better now, 6-7. And he flanks the Chiri there while he knows he's engaged elsewhere. Shot on the run, unfortunately missing there, and then I believe he accidentally reloads because he did have 2 shells remaining, and he could have done good work against the IKV, I believe that was. But unfortunately started to reload and immediately responded to the mistake and moved below the gun line once again to be able to do the reload in safety. First 2 shots being useless, but the third shot fortunately taking out the KV-13. And then you'll notice he starts to reload and immediately switch to premium rounds, simply because he only has 3 standard rounds remaining, and you need to have the greatest damage capacity that you can. So that was a wise decision, although not necessarily, strictly speaking, necessary, because he can probably take out this IKV in 3 shots, and then going for the reload once again once the IKV is destroyed, wisely so. And for a moment there, Eric found himself in a 1 versus 6 situation when the IKV destroyed the friendly, I'm not sure what that was, the last friendly tank. Then Eric was in a 1 versus 6, but he quickly changed that to a 1 versus 5 by eliminating the IKV and staying against his rear, not allowing him to reposition and get his gun pointed at him, because obviously the IKV does not have a turret. Okay, so the enemies are friendly enough to let Eric know that they're capping, so he knows where to find at least one of them. Unfortunately for the enemy WZ, he's a one-shot, and Eric once again decides to do a reload, because obviously he has eliminated the WZ, and chances are he's not going to see any enemies for a while. Target 2 comes up, and Eric's sixth sense does not go off, but chances are he is spotted. So he does keep moving around, relocating as well, because there is an artillery on the enemy team, and he will probably be shooting at where Eric was last spotted. So the enemy target 2 deciding not to cap, so he's probably using the bushes and ridges on the G and H lines. Right, very nice angle there. And here Eric decides to damage through the track, locking him in place and allowing himself to secure the kill, wisely so. Going for the reload once again with 1 shell remaining, and unfortunately the enemy WZ, Walker Bulldog 4190 Grand Final appears, but fortunately Eric is fast enough to start moving around below the gun line so that the GF does not have a shot. Unfortunately though, the enemy artillery tracks him and allows the GF to put a shot into him. He should, however, be able to still survive 1 more shot from the GF. Now, at this stage, we can't be sure what the hit points are of the friendly TD or the enemy TD, sorry, and the enemy artillery. However, they've both been spotted, so you can assume that they have lost some hit points. How many, however, is a different question. Right, you'll notice a couple of times in this replay that Eric reverses into view, which is a good technique to make sure that you can quickly get out of view or out of the gun line again. Especially with a tank that doesn't have any armor, you can do a technique like that. Alright, securing the kill on the GF, and then this WZ, don't know if he doesn't know that the AMX is an autoloader, but he comes back into the line of fire while reloading, giving Eric an easy kill there. And now you'll see Eric wisely switches back to standard rounds, because even at full health the Lorraine will not require 4 shots. So now Eric down to 27 health, where he was put by the enemy GF, so he has already acquired 2 kills with the while being on only 27 hit points. And then the full health Lorraine is found and eliminated, securing the kill for Eric and securing his Kolobanov for 1 versus 6. Very well done, Eric. Let's have a quick look at the post-game stats. Ace Tanker, Hand of God, Bruiser, Duelist, and Fire for Effect, goes without saying. Kolobanov, Radley-Walters for killing 8 enemies. High Caliber and Top Gun. On the team stats, you'll notice a whopping total of 4,700 damage, which is significant for a light tank, and a very nice base XP of 1,390. And then on the personal details, you'll see he made a loss of 10,700 because he had to use so many premium shells, but I think anyone will allow themselves to pay that price to get the result that he got here, and definitely saving his team from defeat there. You'll also notice that of his 33 shots fired, only 25 penetrated. So had more penetrated, his damage total could have been significantly higher. And you'll also notice that even though he spotted 5 enemies, he only has almost 800 spotting damage, which would indicate that the team didn't really use their light tanks. So the friendly RU saying that the light tanks lost the game, it's not really a fair comment. I would rather say that the light tanks provided vision, but the friendlies did not use the vision, and that's why they were in a difficult situation, allowing Eric to perform this massive carry. Very well done, Eric, and thank you for watching.